So you just mentioned in your introduction that you came from the city of Kanpur, studied Hindi medium, and here you are right now, heading the education partner relationships at ACCA.
I think one is communication, and communication is not about speaking fancy English.
Absolutely.
It is about putting across your ideas and ensuring that the person on the other side of the chair or table understands that. The one thing which is very important, and I see that as a suggestion for the future generations as well, to have the right temperament.
Actually, we started off with our journey with ACCA. What kind of evolution have you observed in terms of the recognition for the qualification, and only from India's perspective?
ACCA is a professional body which is incorporated in 1994. With almost 1 million students and the members who have pursued or are pursuing the qualification around 181 countries. So that means.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another podcast here at the Wall Street School. In today's episode, we will be discussing about the future of accountancy, key insights and some value adds coming in from our esteemed guest today here, who is Mr. Prabhanshu Mittal, the Head of Education Partner Relationships at ACCA India. Welcome Prabhanshu. Thank you so much for sparing out the time.
Thank you, Shilpi, for having me over here. And hello to everyone.
So let's start the conversation with my first question to you, Prabhanshu. So very quickly, if you could just tell the audience regarding everything that you've done so far, your schooling, college, job so far.
Okay, so I hail from the city of Kanpur, of course, that's a city out there in the UP. And I've done my schooling and graduation from the Kanpur itself. It was through and through Hindi medium, I must say. And after my graduation, of course, I did my master's in business administration from Birla Institute of Technology. And right after that, then I started to work. I've been mostly into the education sector itself and have worked with a few publishing houses, edtechs as well, and I've been with ACCA for almost 10 years now.
Wonderful. So almost like a decade with ACCA now.
Yes.
I think that's where our first association was as well, almost
Exactly.
a decade back now.
Of course.
So that leads me to my next question now. So you just mentioned in your introduction that you came from the city of Kanpur, studied Hindi medium, and here you are right now, heading the education partner relationships at ACCA. So what skills did you worked upon yourself which are benefiting you in today's, in your today's profile really?
I think one is communication, and communication is not about speaking fancy English.
Absolutely.
It is about putting across your ideas and ensuring that the person on the other side of the chair or table understands that. One. Two is to have a visionary approach. We usually don't talk about the current, what is happening at present, but rather we always look for more strategic approach and see that 3 to 5 years down the line, how we are going to navigate our business around. How do I see my career 3 to 5 years down the line? And then I, of course, connect the dots, look for the backward integration and start working around on that. The one thing which is very important, and I see that as a suggestion for the future generations as well, to have the right temperament. So these are the few
I think that is something which the current generation presently, definitely needs to work upon.
And the last thing which I really worked upon is my habit of reading. So I read a lot, and that's, I think, has helped me a lot in the past.
Wonderful. So that actually leads me to my next question. That for somebody who's just literally kind of just qualified with their class 12 maybe, or pursuing graduation, what would be like your top advice to these set of students before they enter into the world of accounting and finance? So what is going to be like the kind of skill set that they need to work upon?
If we talk about the accounting and finance, and my advice to the future finance leaders, one is embrace the technology. Now, we all use generative AI tools like ChatGPT quite significantly, I'm sure. But embracing the technology is, of course, the next level. Second is look for the futuristic approach, and we see that a lot of companies are actually working towards the sustainability. They see and they try to balance out, create that balance between the people, planet, and the profit. So these are the couple of things, of course, one should continue to look for. one more important advice is that what you are studying currently may not be relevant in the future. So study whatever you are studying, and in the perspective that whenever you graduate, will you be able to utilize that then or not? Because that's when you are going to hit the job market, right? So look, have a futuristic approach. Look that how you are going to contribute to the economies and to the planet, and develop those skills, of course, for the future.
Absolutely. I think those were some wise words coming in from you, that yes, you have to work upon your skill set, be that employable, resource which companies are looking out. So it's not just graduation, it's not just professional qualification, it's going to be a complete package basically.
Yes.
Your skill set, your soft skills, how you're able to, present yourself, everything matters.
Of course.
So definitely, some wise words coming in. That leads me to my next question, really, and for that, I think we'll just go, say, 10 years back from when you started off with your journey with ACC, maybe. And, if and it's quite similar to me as well. So when literally we started off with our journey with ACCA, what kind of, evolution have you observed in terms of the recognition for the qualification, and only from India's perspective? Globally, yes, everybody knows that it's a globally recognized qualification, valid in 180 plus countries. But just from India's perspective, how do you, how have you observed the changes over the last, say, 1 decade or so?
Before I answer this question, Shilpi, let me just take a step back and talk about a little bit about ACCA. ACCA is a professional body which is incorporated in 1904, with almost 1 million students and the members who have pursued or are pursuing the qualification around 181 countries. So that means ACCA is present across 90% of the globe. Now, ACCA has also been the front runner in taking so many initiatives. While I'm of course sitting with you, ACCA is the first body which has actually let the women to enter into the professional accounting and finance world way back in 1909.
Right.
We are the first body to have IFRS into the syllabus way back in 1996. We are the first body to have integrated reporting incorporated into our syllabus 2014, and several other firsts to what we have done. If I talk about my ACCA's presence here in India and how ACCA has changed over the last 1 decade, and of course, I've been fortunate to have witnessing that myself and being the part of that journey, we have seen that ACCA's demand in the market in India has grown multifold.
Absolutely.
And not only among those who are consuming this qualification, that means the students, but also among the employers. So if we look at it, the big fours or big fives or six, I mean, we talk about it, they are one of the largest consumer of ACCA qualification and qualified students and the members around the world, including in India. BFSI sector, IT, ITES, and several other sectors have started consuming the ACCA talent here in Indian market as well, including both international firms which have got an office here in India, as well as the domestic firms. That's one. Given that now there is an increasing demand of ACCA professionals in India and the students who are pursuing the qualification, if I just look at the ratio of the number of the jobs which are present and the number of applicants, I believe that, I mean, and I'm proud to say that, I mean, we have got one of the healthiest ratio of the job to applicant. That means we have got a more number of jobs here in the market today versus to the number of the applicants for those jobs.
Absolutely. Whenever any students or their parents come down and visit me here, the only thing I really ask them to do is just open up their Google, go on to ACCA's website, look at the careers portal, type in India, and look at the kind of demand that there is live for ACCA students, members across all the cities in India, really. So, that adds a lot of value to the students, because now they know that they are really entering into a qualification that has huge demand in India as we are speaking.
Of course.
So, that is something that is really substantiates what we actually, say about ACCA. So that leads me to my next question, and that is again one of the questions that comes a lot to me from students, and their growing skepticism about the industry with AI and automation reworking. Just everything is revamping, and the question that they ask is that will accountants be displaced? Will they become redundant? What will really happen to the future of accountancy with AI?
Okay, so again, let me probably circle back a little bit. When we see a couple of decades back, when computers were introduced across the globe, including in India, everybody thought that, okay, computers are going to take away the jobs. Has there really? The answer is no. The way we work has actually evolved. And now what used to be worked on the probably pen and paper has actually been started to happening on the computers. The same way, if we see that now there are automation coming in, there is uh, several technology tools, for example, IoT, blockchain, internet, the digital twinning, right? Several other tools which have started to chip in. The way the accounting professionals are operating today is going to change, and it is changing.
Absolutely.
So, what it requires now, the future finance leaders should start working on embracing, as I've said in the beginning, the technology. One. Number two is to start working on the skills which are actually required in the future. And those skills are actually changing. For example, uh, Microsoft Excel or probably Microsoft tools or were one of the most sought out skill earlier. Now that is changing. Now the companies are looking for somebody who can actually work on the data.
Absolutely.
So that's a kind of the shift which is happening, and that's where the role of the future professional accountants is changing. And that's what I would advise to the future finance leader is to embrace the technology, start working on these skills for the future.
Absolutely. And, very rightly said that AI is there to supercharge basically our careers. It's there
Exactly.
to help us make more informed decisions, more strategic decisions at a much quicker pace, maybe. So, we also use like Chat GPT and, all the simple AI tools in our daily lives. And that saves on time, that adds value. So, definitely, embrace the change, like you said.
And just to add further over here, Shilpi, is the role of the chief finance officer is now changing into the chief value
Value
officer.
officer, absolutely.
So, as a future finance leader, what I have to work upon is actually bring more value to the discussions. I'll be actually interacting with the various departments which are not the case earlier. Maybe working closely with the supply chain or marketing or the sales, or probably be advising the CEOs. And that's why you see that most of the CEOs today are actually coming from the finance background.
Absolutely right. So that actually leads me to my next question now. See, India is definitely, the GCC capital of the world. So what roles or what kind of employability do you reckon will be there, for accountants in India in the next decade or so?
So, as I said in the beginning, the roles are actually changing, and given that now most of the work which is repeatable is going to be done using the automation tools,
Absolutely.
right? So, as a future finance leader, I have to continue to bring more value to what I do, and it is not going to be the insight generation, but rather more of an insight analysis and providing more value to the stakeholders, both internal and external.
True that. So, what do reckon that the Generation Z today or Generation Alpha growing up, what would be your key insights for these students? Because they don't want to work smart, they don't want to work hard, but they rather want to work smart, and they want global opportunities, they want global mobility. At the same time, they want a lot of flexibility as well in their careers. So how do you reckon that ACCA can help them in shaping the desired goal out of their lives? So they want to work smart, they want global passports, they want a career that that can take them places. So how do you think that ACCA can actually equip them with all the tools that they require?
So, number one, if we look at the ACCA qualification structure itself, it is very flexible. It's spread over the three levels: knowledge, applied
Skills.
skills, and the strategic professional.
Right.
Right, 3 papers, 6 papers, and further 2 compulsory and the 2 optionals. So that gives the flexibility for anyone who is pursuing the ACCA qualification, given that there is no grouping and they can pursue 1 paper at a time. And within that group, they can pursue the papers as per their preparedness and in any order. One, so that's where the flexibility within the ACCA qualification is available. Number two is when we see that how the qualification is structured in terms of the evaluation. For example, I just take an example of SBL. Now, SBL is a paper which used to be 4 hours earlier. We
Right.
used to it comprises of one case, which is fairly long, I must say.
If I take a print, I think it will run about minimum of 14 pages, just the
And
question itself.
exactly. So for because that prepares you for the situations you as a future finance leader will be exposed to in the real life. So the question papers or the way we evaluate is very practical and is very application oriented. That's what the employers actually expect you to perform at the workplace, and that's what the ACCA qualification prepares you for. The third is in terms of the technology. ACCA examinations are held on the computers. Now we do
Right.
have the remotely invigilated exams as well. So there are exam centers around the world. There are remotely invigilated options as well. So anybody can actually appear the exams. And the basic exposure to the technology which is happening, which probably is not possible if you're actually appearing for the exam through pen and paper. So that's why if you see ACCA qualification comes like a complete package, and this entire qualification not only is flexible but also it is futuristic. So we continue to make the changes in the ACCA qualification in the way we see that the future is moving towards. And that's why I just talked about in the beginning that there are a lot of firsts to what we have done in the world, because as logo says itself is
Think
think
ahead.
ahead.
Absolutely. And that's precisely, what I was also going to sum up, that ACC truly stands for its logo. They truly think ahead. What are going to be the key skills that employers are going to, look for by the time these students graduate, by the time these students actually become employable? Do they have knowledge about big data, like SBL paper that you mentioned? I
Yes.
actually quoted like a mini MBA. So that one paper teaches you so many skills that actually an MBA teaches you. So that is the kind of curriculum that ACCA really has, and that is why it's progressive, and that is why probably that huge surge in demand is there.
Exactly, and it is a rewarding qualification as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are different rewards in the form of the diploma and advanced diploma, which are available when somebody pursues the ACCA qualification alongside. There is also a BSc from University of London
London,
option,
right?
which is available. There is also an MSc if somebody wants to pursue from University of London. That option is also available. So, in the nutshell, if I say that it is a qualification which is complete, holistic, futuristic, and of course made as per what the employers are looking out for.
Actually, that's actually very correct. And that is something which I always mention to the students and their parents as well, is that this is one qualification that is going to give you the knowledge of accountancy, taxation, auditing, financial management, management of businesses really. And then you have the base knowledge. And then, to start off your career with really. And by the time, you gain on experience, that is where you choose your niche. Do I really want to make my career just only in finance or maybe only in taxation? So that equips you with the power to be able to make that choice for your career, really.
Exactly, and the focus on the ethics must not be.
Absolutely.
We must not forget that, because future finance leaders and the finance leaders actually has to be ethical in whatever they do, and ACCA focuses a lot on the ethics.
Wonderful. So my next question is very naive. So somebody who's just basically, finished off their class 12 maybe, or, pursuing their graduation or just completed graduation. Do you reckon that ACCA is the qualification to go for in 2025? Give me top three reasons.
Number one is that if you're pursuing the ACCA qualification, you can pursue it anytime in your career. We do have a lot of students who are actually working professionals and they're pursuing ACCA qualification. If you're pursuing class 11, 12, you can actually enroll for ACCA qualification via FIA route, which is Foundations in Accountancy. If you are an undergraduate or pursuing the local qualification or have graduated, of course, you can also start the ACCA qualification, and we do recognize the prior learning in the form of
Absolutely.
exemptions as well. So that's one. Number two is this is a qualification for the future. That's something which is a very powerful statement I'm making, because this qualification is made to what employers and what the future is looking out for. And we are very committed in order to ensuring that. Number three is we embrace the technology, whether the
Absolutely.
form of the way we evaluate the question papers or the way we design the syllabus and etc. So we embrace the technology. So these are the reasons probably I can emphasize upon.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Last question, again, just a quick summary question for, anybody who started off with their graduation, pursuing ACCA alongside. What else do they need to work upon? So technical skills, obviously, they are building upon. But what other top three tools or top three other, skills that you would advise the generation, the Gen Alpha, generation to basically embrace?
One is reading.
Wonderful.
There is no substitute of the reading, so definitely one should.
You can read on your tabs in your, iPad. That's
Whatever.
okay, but read.
You have a physical book. I'm a little old school, but if you want to use some other technology and while reading, that's absolutely fine. But please read. Second is ensure the right communication. And as I said in the beginning, it is not about speaking the English or fancy English, but rather it is about ensuring and communicating your ideas. And the third is have the right attitude.
Wonderful. I think if students of today, embrace this, imbibe this in their daily curriculum in the way, they are driving themselves in the way they are upbringing and, and focusing on their future really, it will be a really game changer for them, apart from obviously, the skill set that they are working on. Wonderful. So thank you so much, Prabhanshu, for this really insightful, insightful journey of yours that you've shared with us and the students here, and also these key skills that you've taught the students that this is the roadmap that you need to follow really. So thank you so much for your time, and on behalf of the Wall Street School as well, thank you so much for your support always.
It's a pleasure being over here, Shilpi. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you. Okay then, thank you so much everyone. Bye bye.